The following is a Fox 54 Plus special presentation.
What do you know about the area beyond your backyard? What do you really know about the places you and I call home? And how are they evolving? We're taking you across North Alabama, visiting dozens of interesting landmarks and observing the ways communities are keeping up with the times. This is Unzipped, the zip-to-zip road trip. Hi, I'm Fox 54 News reporter Nixon Norman. For the past year, I've been taking you on a tour of the places that define North Alabama as a place of neighborliness, Southern hospitality, and progress. It's a series we've called Unzipped. And today I'm taking you on a road trip through every zip code we've explored, the landmarks we've encountered, and the people we've met along the way. We start our trip in Northwest Alabama, zip code 35661, which incorporates several communities collectively known as the Shoals.
This area is the Quad Cities, composing of Florence, Muscle Shoals, Tuscumbia, and Sheffield.
And those four cities extend over two different counties.
Florence is in Lauderdale County, and Tuscumbia, Sheffield, and Muscle Shoals are all located in Colbert County.
Each one of these cities have their own personal flair, and we'll dive a bit into each. But just as I and England Voker's Kara Mobley started, we'll also begin in Tuscumbia, Alabama.
The Shoals area has so much rich history, and Tuscumbia is great. Tuscumbia is home of Helen Keller, so Helen Keller birthplace, and also the Tennessee Valley Arts Museum, so a lot of great art culture there.
With Tuscumbia being the birthplace of Helen Keller, it's also the birthplace of the Alabama Institute for Deaf and Blind. With Keller being born in 1880, there's bound to be remnants of other old homes in Tuscumbia as well. And actually, what Mobley tells me about the homes here goes for all four of these cities.
There are older homes, but also there is a lot of new construction happening there as well.
With a mix of older and newer homes, there's a little bit of everything for everyone in the Shoals. And speaking of old to new, the city of Sheffield, like most of these historic cities, has an old-time feel, but it's constantly changing and evolving.
The Ritz Theater is a really great area in downtown Sheffield, and they do seem to have an up-and-coming atmosphere.
As we move things over to Muscle Shoals, there's one question that has always come to my mind, and that is, why is this place named Muscle Shoals?
What I heard about Muscle Shoals was it was named that when people first came here, there were a lot of mussels, the sea creature, on the banks of the river here, and so they named it Muscle Shoals, even though they spelled it muscle like on your arm, like your bicep muscle, but that's what I heard.
Apparently, no one actually knows for sure how the city got its name, but there are a couple of theories out there. As Mobley mentioned, at one time there may have been piles of mussels along the shoals of the Tennessee River. And another is that the shape of the river itself looks like a man's arm, or muscle. Now that we've ventured through Colbert County, let's end things off in Lauderdale with Florence.
It's a small city, but it's got a lot of great amenities for people living in the area. It's only an hour away from Huntsville. It's only 2 hours away from Nashville. And for people who are interested in the arts, the community theater here is very vibrant.
Not only has Florence been designated as a 2022 Tree City USA for the 36th consecutive year, it's also home to one of the few federal buildings in the nation that still combines a post office and a federal courthouse beneath one roof.
Oh, I love the post office. It's a beautiful building that it's kind of a, what would you call it?
I was curious for both Mobley and myself, so I did some research, and it seems to be some sort of Greek revival architecture. But that's not the only piece of history living in Florence. W.C. Handy, or the father of the blues, was also born in Florence.
W.C. Handy is the father of the blues, and he is from Florence. There is a museum here. His house is here, you can tour.
Really making the Shoals a place of music, history, and music history.
Heading east, we make our way towards 35652, Rogersville, an expansive area about 45 minutes away from Huntsville and a hub for surrounding communities.
Although small, the town of Rogersville is mighty.
When you're in Rogersville, it's like a central location.
Rogersville itself is actually pretty large as far as the actual limits go, but as the center of it, we have this right here, which probably doesn't even span a mile, where everything is pretty much located in this one area.
You're right close to the school, all of the restaurants you're close to, the grocery store, you know, we're close to that. Everyone loves the convenience of the grocery store, so you're just seconds from that.
Not only are things located minutes away from where you live in Rogersville, everyone knows everyone.
When you go out, you know, it's not one of those things where you're not going to know someone. Like, you go in and you automatically see several people that you know.
Now, this kind of tight-knit community isn't for everyone. But both Erica Crunk and Greg Cook with Engel Invokers live in the 35652 and know just about everyone. Like the owner of Bloom Winery, where we actually shot our interviews.
I called the owner, 15 minutes, hey, do you care if we come by and do our interviews down here to get away from the road traffic? I love knowing everybody's close. It's great for me. I'm a small business owner here. It works out well for me knowing everybody.
Alongside the nice folks that live here, the 35652 has a variety of nice homes to live in.
A lot of ranch style, very old community. It's actually a retirement community, so you've got a lot of the older ranch style homes. But we've also got, in the last 2 or 3 years, several new constructions that have gone up. Several new subdivisions have come in. So we've got a lot of your newer styles, and you go out on the river, you've got everything. Beyond building new communities here, things like advancements in technology and the overall standard of living have improved as well.
We've recently gotten the JTM and the Spectrum, the internet, which is really huge for the area. That took a little bit to get here, and the community kind of pulled together.
But we're doing a lot of work to accept the growth, but also keep that small town feel that keeps everybody coming back.
As we dive into unzipping the 35611, let's start at the beginning, which in the case of Limestone County goes way back.
Well, Athens and Limestone County are older than the state of Alabama. They were established in 1818, and people started moving here even earlier on, like in the early 1800s.
Not only did the county get an early start claiming its spot in the state of Alabama, its name is also unique to the state of Alabama.
Limestone County is the only county not named for a person in the whole entire state. It's named for a feature. It's limestone creek beds.
Limestone is a type of rock, a softer type of rock. And although that is the case, limestone is still very durable.
Athens has always had a way of overcoming obstacles, whether it was tornadoes or invading troops or depression and floods and all sorts of things.
Just like the 35611.
It's sweet, it's charming, but, it's also tough.
Bits and pieces of history are scattered throughout the area, like Trinity. It was the only high school for black students in the county until integration in 1970, and the first school in the northern half of the state to offer kindergarten for black children. The school, being built on top of the former Civil War site, Fort Henderson, tells the story of slave to soldier to student.
My grandparents attended school here. My father finished school here in 1946. I finished here in 1966. Trinity is the heart of this community as far as the black people are concerned. It's all we had at one time was Trinity. We have many things now, but this was our beginning. Trinity was the beginning for the black community of Athens.
And although Trinity doesn't house any classrooms today, its legacy will live on.
I've got grandkids and a great-grandchild, and when we pass by, they said, "Granddaddy, that's your school." I said, "That's my school."
We've looked a fair share into the past of Limestone County, but what's next? Like most other areas in the valley, 35611 is bustling with growth. Engel Invokers real estate advisor Donna McCowan tells us more about a new development.
What you're looking at here is a future site of Athens' version of Providence. It's going to be a couple of years before it's going to be up and running, but they have broken ground, and it's going to be the boardwalk.
Even through all that growth, though, the overall charisma of the area remains.
We have always been a city of classic Southern character. classic Southern character.
We in Athens, we love everybody. We support you no matter who you are, no matter where you're from. We will always welcome you with open arms.
Taking things to zip code area 35601, also known as Decatur, Alabama. Interestingly enough, this zip code is home to the largest concentration of Victorian-era craftsmen and bungalow homes in the entire state of Alabama. Some of these homes date back to the early 1800s, while others were constructed around the turn of the 20th century. City of Decatur's mayor, Tab Bowling, just recently moved into a Victorian-style home himself.
Our home was built in 1886. And I just mounted some wall mount TVs. Goodness gracious, those are real 2x4s, rough cut, true 2x4s.
Speaking of things built to last, Decatur is also home to the first ever wave pool to be introduced to the United States.
From what I understand, someone told me that somebody from Decatur went somewhere in Europe and saw a water park and got the idea and then came and built the water park.
She's right. That person is actually somebody very important to the city itself.
Yes, it is the first wave pool under the leadership of former Mayor Gilmer Blackburn. Very visionary.
During time spent in Germany, Mayor Blackburn saw wave-activated swimming pools and decided they would be a great tourism attraction to bring back to Decatur. Decatur is also known as the River City, but just like its neighboring city, Huntsville, the 35601 is home to rockets as well.
For years, if you wanted a rocket, you had to come to Decatur, Alabama to get that rocket. We were the only place in the country that was producing rockets.
The city houses ULA, the United Launch Alliance.
They're the ones that build the rockets that are over there, that we're working with NASA.
In recent months, Amazon and ULA have teamed up to build 47 rockets in total at its Decatur location, as a part of Amazon's initiative to increase global broadband access. This is a huge economic win for the 35601, alongside the established trade industry that already lives there.
You have the river, you have the railroad, and you also have the interstate right there, I-65.
So much so that there's talk of building another bridge over the Tennessee River.
We're home to the largest port on the Tennessee River. And with that, we know that we need a new bridge to get us over the river. We need that to lessen the freight that's going on our current bridges. And thankfully, ALDOT, Alabama Department of Transportation, is supporting that effort.
With that growth and development comes more people. But take it from Decatur resident and realty expert herself, the 35601 is the place to be.
I expect more people to move here, especially with, right now Huntsville's the #1 place to live in the country, but there's only so many houses there, and if you don't like traffic, Decatur's the place to be.
We cross the river and go north from I-565 to bring you to Madison, and in particular the growing community called Town Madison, home to one of North Alabama's newest sports teams.
The Trash Pandas, notably the most recognizable thing out of the 35758, but just across the street lies the planned community of Town Madison, another gym in this area, which is a community filled with all different kinds of living spaces, from apartments to townhomes to standalone houses.
Whatever you want, they have it here in Town Madison.
Because of this wide variety of spaces to live in, it's hard to pinpoint a median price for the area, because again, there's a little something for everyone here, which also makes this area the perfect place to transition from renter to owner.
It really does accommodate a lot of different kinds of lifestyles. So if you're just looking for an apartment, let's say you're coming into town, you don't know where to live, have an apartment here. Get to know the area. You will love it here in Town Madison, and you'll want to buy your first home here.
Just like the businesses and attractions that occupy this space, the realty here is also curated.
There are not a lot of builders that can build here. There is a select amount of builders that can build here, so that you keep the quality up and you keep the standards up to where they want that to be.
Speaking of variety, when it comes to architect, there's also a lot of variety when it comes to who lives here. Again, further proving that there's something for everyone in the 35758.
21-year-olds, families, retirees, whoever you are, you really do have a place here at Town Madison.
Looking at the larger picture, there's currently a shortage of homes in the housing market. And although this level of development comes with growing pains, this growth is providing a way for more people to move here, live here, and become a part of the Huntsville-Madison County community.
Town Madison is trying to fill a need that we have in town because we don't have enough houses. Look at all the construction going on here. We have so many houses going up here, so many houses finished and so many houses going up.
From Madison, a quick hop into Huntsville city limits and the hot new arts and entertainment district called Mid-City, which is prompting revitalization in the surrounding areas.
The Mid-City district was recently cited as one of the 12 largest commercial real estate projects in the nation. But before there was Mid-City, there was Madison Square Mall. Opening in August of 1984, Madison Square Mall was eventually closed and demolished after standing 32 long years. Again, where Mid-City District lives now.
It was the major shopping area. Now it's Mid-City. So much better, in my opinion. The Huntsville that we see now is not the Huntsville that I moved to when I was 4 years old. It's totally different. There's so much more for families and young professionals to do. I would have sworn I would not live here once I was an adult, and I couldn't wait to get out, and now I've moved back. I'm married to a Huntsville native. We love it here. We're raising our kids here. Could not ask for a better place to do so.
Within the 35806, there's also the Village of Providence, a quaint little area that combines big city life and small town living. Providence was one of the first communities of its kind here in Huntsville.
So the idea of living above a Thai restaurant or a barbecue place or something like that just wasn't the normal here. It was not commonplace. So Providence came along and just kind of changed the game. You can kind of pick what you want and find something that suits you and your family. If you want more space, that's available in 35806. If you want a townhome that's low maintenance and you don't have to worry about it, that's also available. Same with apartments. It was not like this years ago.
Bridge Street is another hotspot in the area, with over 80 different options for entertainment, shopping, and dining experiences, as well as living spaces too. There's truly something for everyone there. Our 35806 expert and resident, England Voker's managing broker, Jessica Knuckles, likes to take the whole family.
All the time, for date night, to bring the kids to play. My brother and sister-in-law will bring their kids and we'll come here and let them run around. There are moms here in the mornings when I get here for work to do fitness classes with their strollers. I mean, there's just so much for everyone to do around this location that it's just perfect.
Beyond living in the 35806, if you're trying to show off a snapshot of the ever-growing hustle and bustle of the Rocket City, this is the perfect place to do so.
35806 is just such a central location to so many things. To me, I've lived all over Huntsville. I've lived in 35803, I've lived in 01, I've lived in Hampton Cove. We keep coming back to this area because of the location, because how quickly we can get to just so many different things that really works for us and our family, and we love it.
Zip code area 35750, also known as Hazel Green, is an unincorporated community and census-designated place. Unincorporated communities do not have elected officials, and census-designated places are a concentration of population defined by the U.S. Census Bureau. The small town of Hazel Green was actually named by Andrew Jackson, the 7th President of the United States, because at the time, the hazel bushes lining the roads were a vibrant green color. One of the most notable people out of this area is George Lindsay, the actor who portrayed Goober Pyle on The Andy Griffith Show. And back in the 70s, on April 3rd, 1974, Hazel Green was hit by an F5 tornado during the 1974 super outbreak. But beyond all that, Hazel Green is a place where residents are pouring in and homes are constantly being built. I asked England Voker's real estate agent, Donnell Harris, why someone should live in the small community of Hazel Green.
I would say, well, why not?
In the early 19th century, several farmers from Georgia and the Carolina states moved to Hazel Green after discovering that the area had some of the richest soil in the southeast. A lot of that farmland is now being repurposed into living spaces and communities.
This community actually used to be farmland, and a lot of developers have been parting with some of the farmland to make small development communities for the families that are moving in. So we do have the beautiful opportunity to have something start from scratch, is what you see here. We have no foundation, so a family gets to pick everything out and build exactly what they want to. Also, for the families that are coming in, we have move-in ready homes as well. So you have the opportunity to either build your dream home or to find a home that's convenient for you now.
And building or buying that dream home in Hazel Green is still going to cost you, of course, but there's opportunity to have it all without breaking the bank.
Hazel Green also is known to be the residential hotspot for its price point. The average price point is about $283,000. There's opportunities to get in here, and the average family doesn't have to break the bank, especially during these inflation times, to have to get into a home, still keeping it reasonably priced.
Beyond being a good place to live, the 35750 is also a great place to play.
With the new businesses floating around and with the access to new options for entertainment, Hazel Green has allowed itself to become its own bubble in a sense, but still staying 15 to 20 minutes away from Huntsville and being able to commute that easily.
Despite recent growth, Hazel Green remains unincorporated to this day, but that makes it the perfect place for folks who want that small town feel that's not too far away from the city.
Our road trip makes a sharp turn south into Meridianville, a short drive from the Huntsville Executive Airport, where vast and empty fields are quickly filling with new employers and homesteads.
For many people, 35759 is home.
I'd probably describe it as a place that I'd want to raise my family.
And that's exactly what Earl Hudson with England Volkers did. He raised his family in Meridianville, Alabama. Now he's back working side by side with his daughter, Lauren Hudson Hicks, who's also an advisor with England Volkers.
This is where I grew up. As you can see behind me, there's school buses, there's Meridianville Middle School, and I'm a first generation Meridianville middle schooler. I know the people who own Tate Farms. I know the people who own Hubert Farms. This is a place where if you want to have a family and feel like home, this is it.
But Meridianville didn't always look the way it does now. The development that took place here really skyrocketed in the past 2 decades.
I mean, when you're driving down the roads and you're trying to visualize what used to be there, most likely it was a field. But if it's doubled in size over the last 20 years, what is it going to do in another 20? I mean, so to me, Meridianville is a place of opportunity.
20 years ago, Meridianville sat at a population of around 4,000 people. That has since doubled to over 8,000 people now living in this area. And of course, housing has to keep up.
You have communities popping up everywhere on Stigger's Curb. I mean, you have 9 different communities just off of that road.
With more population and more housing, job opportunities must also be there.
Industries like Ulista are here. We actually got to see a helicopter land, which is so cool. So at any given time, you could just be driving down the road and see a Black Hawk. You could see an Apache.
Although there has been an industry shift, farmers who first settled in Meridianville laid the foundation for what it is today.
Our history comes from the people who have lived here, the people who have now passed their farms on to their kids. So, I mean, the historic value here is the generations of families that have just continued to live here.
A similar story to the Hudsons, the father-daughter duo out of the 35759.
I think that what we can build over the next 10 years may be a legacy that she can continue to build after I decide to really retire.
35801 puts us close to the hills and mountains and the heart of Huntsville's historic district, where the beauty and history of the area is leading to growing property values.
Our journey starts at the oldest town in Huntsville, which is very appropriately named Old Town.
Back in the day, this area was very unique because all the merchants and tradesmen used to live here, and they added heavily to the economy of downtown. They were the one who were the vendors at the town square. So that's what differentiated this place. And the reason it's called Old Town is because it is the oldest town.
But just because this part of town is older doesn't mean it's any less expensive. Actually, here in Huntsville overall, home prices have jumped in the past year more than 20%.
If I compare it from March 2021 till March 2022, we are up by 22% in real estate.
The median price of homes in Madison County is around $295,000. But in downtown, these neighborhoods like Old Town and our next stop, Twickenham, that median price is pushed up by $100,000 to $395,000. And according to Holman in Twickenham, some of those prices are in the millions.
The homes over here, they sit on larger lots, and the property value, it constitutes both the square footage of the home and the lot size. So homes in Twickenham are more expensive than anywhere else in downtown.
This area may be expensive to live in, but it's also rich in history, similar to Old Town, and in some cases is home to even older architect than the homes in Old Town.
And you would be surprised to know that in the 1800s, Huntsville was not Huntsville, it was Twickenham. And later on, it was changed to Huntsville after John Hunt.
Lastly, let's move over to 5 Points. The homes here may be shorter in height compared to the other two areas, but definitely not lacking in character.
You do get some character homes here, and a lot of people love those character homes instead of buying, a brand new home, which is nice and wonderful. But to have that history and that character, it's really something that attracts people, and you'll see that in those prices.
Like Old Town in Twickenham, 5 Points also has historic roots. And again, while these homes are smaller, the location, character, and history behind them make them highly sought after.
They want to keep that uniqueness and the historical aspect of it too. That goes along with that, being unique and being not like the other neighborhoods, and keeping that feeling inside in the neighborhood.
So 35801 is more than just the zip code for downtown Huntsville. It's a place of major history, wealth, and that Huntsville flair that made us the best place to live.
Another area of Huntsville experiencing rapid growth is the zip code of 35802, where it's not unheard of to see cattle grazing mere feet away from new developments.
Huntsville may be the #1 place to live.
Huntsville is the #1 place to live in all of the United States, and 35802 is one of my favorite zip codes.
But the 35802 is considered home to many.
Everybody goes someplace else to work, but they all come home. This is where people in Huntsville live. They may work at Research Park, they may work at the hospital, they may work at the university, they may work out on the arsenal, but they all come home here.
35802 has traditionally been a bedroom community. This is where you come home to. And what makes a home too is not just the home itself, but it's the environment around. You have lots of great parks, and then recently we have just boomed in 35802 with recreation.
One of the newest additions to recreation in this area, so new it's not even complete yet, is the Sandra Moon Community Complex.
Most people know this as the home of the old Grissom High School. And if you look right over here, you can see that we took the old high school building, basically chopped it in half. Then we've got the section of the building that we've kept is going to become a performing arts center.
When you think of the zip code 35802, your mind probably takes you to one place in particular, Jones Valley.
Jones Valley is the largest urban farm in the country, and it's right smack dab. It's so unusual because it's right smack dab in the middle of all these residential areas across from a major shopping center. You got the cows, and on top of that, it's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful green space, backed up by the mountains. And we just hope that it will be preserved.
Speaking of cows, you may have seen the name of a very iconic cow all over the 35802.
Oh, Lily Flag the cow, isn't that a great story?
We have a number of areas in South Huntsville that are named after Lily Flag, who was a cow. We have Lily Flag Estates, we have Lily Flag Road, there's Lily Flag Station, and most people don't even realize that she was a cow. But she was a cow, prize-winning cow at the Chicago World's Fair, known for the exceptional quality of her butter. And so, we remember Lily Flag. Oh, and Lily Flag Pool, where my children swam, and their mascot is the cows.
In the spirit of looking back into the past, South Huntsville is also home to many older homes.
About 80% of the houses in South Huntsville were built before 1980.
But if you like things more on the modern side, there's a place in the 35802 for you as well.
We are very landlocked here in southeast Huntsville. You've got the mountain, you've got the river, you've got the arsenal. So because of that, there's been a lot of investors in this area purchasing homes, renovating the homes, purchasing lots, building new homes. So you're seeing a lot of that in this area.
At the time of this interview, speaking with England Voker's Angie Clute, only 34 houses were on the market. Because, as both Clute and Councilwoman Robinson said in the beginning, once you move to the 35802, the 35802 becomes home. Each area within the Tennessee Valley has a different vibe. We unzipped the 35763, focusing on the Hampton Cove area.
I think that within the city of Huntsville, Madison, Hampton Cove, all of them offer a different flavor in communities. And for us here in Hampton Cove, I think it's one of nature.
While driving around Hampton Cove, I was able to nail down the angle of this month's Unzipped. And that being that Hampton Cove is literally where a sense of home and nature come together in perfect harmony.
I don't know that people realize that we are actually in the foothills of the Appalachian Trail. People will say these aren't mountains, but I think because my ears pop, it counts. It counts as a mountain.
This closeness to nature makes the area unique.
What's exciting about Hampton Cove is the proximity to all things nature as well as downtown. You can be hiking up on Blevins Gap within 5 minutes, or you can be in Jones Valley within 10. Governors and Big Spring Park are 15 minutes away. You can go to a concert at Von Braun or at a hockey game. Dinner on the square and then back home within 15 minutes. The proximity to everything is phenomenal, even though people believe that it's so far away, it's really not.
England Voker's real estate advisor Bernie Tompkins and I actually decided to do our interview at Hayes Nature Preserve.
There are 10 miles of hiking, biking, kayaking. You can put your kayaks in right here at the Flint River. There are even horse trails that are right here.
This area is also home to the only universal playground in Madison County and the second universal playground in the entire state of Alabama.
Which is the most amazing playground, and it was built for all kids in mind, especially those with special needs.
So it's safe to say that Hampton Cove is a piece of paradise for nature lovers. But back to what I said earlier about that sense of home and nature coming together. There's also some pretty fantastic places to live in the 35763.
Hampton Cove has luxurious homes in the 8,000 square foot range all the way down to patio homes, townhomes, and we have a brand new senior living facility.
Making what Tompkins often preaches even easier for those who want to live there.
You have to love where you live.
Something she and her family had to grow through themselves, creating a path to a place they call home now, Hampton Cove, and a place that, to many, is like its own little slice of heaven.
We moved here about 4 years ago, and everybody was worried about us moving to Alabama. I hate to say that, but when you don't know, you don't know. And so once I got here, I dove deep and I wanted to learn everything that there was in Huntsville to do. And when we were trying to focus on where we wanted to live, we fell in love with the Hampton Cove area just because you go over Cecil Ashburn or over Governors and you feel like you're in another world.
And as we end our road trip and return to home base here at the Fox 54 studios, we examine what we've discovered during our year of unzipping North Alabama. We found that growth is taking some communities in new and exciting directions, other areas experiencing slower changes, but changes nonetheless. What is quite apparent is that neighborhoods we visited are embracing that change without giving up the quality of life that makes living in this region so attractive to so many. I'm Nixon Norman. Thank you so much for joining us on the Zip to Zip road trip.